The Traitors US Season 4 Episode 6 had Alan's infamous cabin, good clapbacks, and some traitor betrayal. Let's get into it. As per usual, we left the last episode of the Traitors on a cliffhanger about who would be murdered, but this time with an extra wrinkle. If no one took a shield in the mission, the Traitors may not be able to murder at all. While we were left in suspense, the Traitors weren't, as Alan came to the turret to let them know that there would be no murder and everyone returned to breakfast. Also, I died at Candace telling Alan that was loud when he knocked to get into the turret. Okay, Candace. Before they head to the mission, we see an interesting conversation between Rob and Ron. Their relationship is sweet, but it felt risky that Rob asked Ron if he's heard anyone say his name. For a second, I got nervous when Ron said if Rob was a traitor, he'd be good at it, but it seems like he really was just telling Rob how great he thinks he is, and didn't even think further into his own actually astute observation about Rob being smarter than he seems. I guess Rob was right to trust him. I think maybe more observant faithfuls would have caught on that Rob is not as dumb as he wants them to think. He plays chess like every scene, but I don't know that these guys will. They did good to get rid of the strategic minds early. Also, we all loved Rob's Canadian tuxedo he had on in the confessional, right? I think we all agree with Johnny last episode when he said Rob is so hot it's distracting, and hey, he knows how to use it, as is shown by what a good traitor he's been. Even though I think he slipped up in this episode, but we'll get to that. Now, Johnny is trying to rally the troops to control the round table, which in theory could be a good strategy, but he has two traitors in that group, and convincing a group to vote a certain way in the castle is one thing, but the moment the arguments start being thrown out at the round table, votes change. We also see Colton really trying to do the most and call Lisa out, but I just don't think he's doing what he thinks he is. This mission is fun, and I like that it's more puzzle-based than just physical, and they do really well, only getting tripped up by the first question. I don't really love this strategy of fear-mongering against taking the shields. I think shields are powerful, especially if you can hide that you have one. Natalie, I love you, but threatening banishment is crazy. The group does well though and banks $15,000 for the prize pot. Back at the castle, Johnny Weir is rallying the troops to vote to banish Colton, and Colton makes a bold move, basically telling Lisa to her face that he thinks she's a traitor, but wants to make a deal that if she protects him from murder, he'll protect her from banishment. Okay, I get go big or go home and all, but it just feels like Colton is trying to be the center of attention and not actually win this game at times. There may be a world where this strategy could work, but Colton's approach was not it. I personally think the way to get a traitor to protect you is the classic traitor angel strategy, where if you think you know who a traitor is, you just show them you're with them and would never say their name or banish them. You don't point blank tell them you think they're a traitor, especially if you've already publicly suspected them. Also, Colton said, I want to win this thing with you, and unless he's recruited, that's just not possible. That bit of Colton bravado leads us to the round table. First of all, I was dying that while no one wanted to start the discussion, Ron was just holding his chalk already like he didn't even want to talk. I unfortunately think he's a little over it and resigned to leaving. However, I do think he had some good responses to Colton, like telling him, you've got more wrong than me, and pointing out that no one is counting Colton being wrong about Michael because they don't like Michael, and Ron is being crucified because everyone liked Portia. That was smart. Also, Ron's goodbye tour did convince some people that he's a faithful, so while I don't actually think it was a strategy, it almost worked. Now we see Colton turn up the heat by accusing Lisa. I honestly was a little disappointed in Lisa's defense. Just throwing it back at the person who accused you isn't the best defense in Traitors. And honestly, I wish she would have broken a wine glass. At least we got one I'm Lisa Rinna this episode. This is where it gets really interesting. This whole episode was kind of teasing that Rob might turn on his fellow traitor Lisa, as they showed us just how much he didn't want to lose Colton or Ron, two faithfuls that trust him fully and were up for banishment. I get that, and I do think him voting against Colton would raise red flags, but I kind of think this was too soon, and once Lisa was accused, there just wasn't enough time for people to be convinced. If you're going to take a shot at a fellow traitor, you can't miss. And Rob did. I also clocked that he said sorry when he voted Lisa, and in the past that has gotten traitors in trouble when someone they apologize for voting out is revealed to be a traitor. I still think he's doing well, and since she didn't leave, time will probably cover that comment, but for the first time, I'm a little nervous for our boy Rob. Okay, so Ron is officially banished and revealed to be faithful. At least the faithfuls can move on, but once again, they were wrong. And we were so close to getting a three-way tie. We then get a flashback to the turret and Alan revealing that the next murder will happen in plain sight at a banquet. One traitor will have to wear an elaborate brooch and get the faithful they want murdered to touch it. I feel like having Candace do it would be the move, because while I think the amulet would look beautiful on Rob's overalls, it might be a little conspicuous, but Lisa is so under fire that this could be the nail in her coffin if she gets caught. We'll have to wait and see how that murder goes, but even without a turret, we still get to see Lisa and Candace confront Rob about his betrayal when the traitors meet up right under everyone's noses in the kitchen, and the housewives are not happy. It killed me when Candace straight up threw candy at Rob. This is the housewifery that we want. Honestly, Honestly, Rob was doing so well that he almost made me forget that this is a very emotional man. And while that can be a great thing, it can cloud your judgment in a game like this. I do think he'll be okay, but his inability to vote his boy out was his first crack showing in an otherwise kind of flawless Traitor game. But also, this is about to be bad for Robbie Bobby. Come on, that man is good TV. I'm glad we got that confrontation, but we'll have to wait and see if it has any real repercussions to Rob's game. Hopefully he's in such a good spot that it won't matter, and I do think Lisa is on her way out. And we'll have to wait and see if Lisa can pull off the second murder in plain sight and who it will be. I honestly loved this episode. I'm glad the faithfuls at least have one correct hunch. Makes a little bit more of an even playing field. All right, you guys, that's all I have to share with you today, but what did you think of the Traitors Season 4 Episode 6? And how do you think Lisa's murder in plain sight will go? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to please like this video, subscribe, or follow our channel for all the latest news. I'm your host, Molly Sims, and you can find me at MeHoldingCoffee on Instagram and TikTok. And I'll see you in the next video.